Alright, Shalom. First of all, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to the brothers who are fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith, and Shalom to the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on, multiple fires that have taken place. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts. Slahia. I'm going to scroll through these headlines, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says, firefighter dies in line of duty at Plainville house fire. It said, piece of fire truck broke off and caused fatal injuries to Plainville firefighter. It says, mine death, Red Lodge fire, balloons over Billings. The woman killed in Gabriel house fire was a brilliant musician who toured the world. The car catches fire after accident on I-81. The I-93 southbound lanes reopen after car fire in O'Neill Tunnel. Car fire closes some northbound lanes on I-25 during Monday morning commute. Said Queens fire, 5 residents, 2 firefighters injured after fire at a building in Flushing. So fire in Watertown damages apartment building. Passengers use emergency slides to flee plane fire in the U.S. Monroe Canyon fire nears 21,000 acres in Sevier County. Chemical plant fire has neighbors concerned, second fire in less than 5 years. Street sweeper fire shuts down lanes on I-84 in Southbury. Massive fire engulfs at least 3 homes on Migoski Reservation in southwest Miami-Dade. It's a pig farm destroyed by fire in Indiana County. The neighbors concerned over North Park property after overnight fire destroys it. So fire breaks out at Nazarene Christian Academy in New Bedford. 2 firefighters hurt in Sun City house fire. Homeowner and firefighter injured after fire breaks out at home on Cape Cod. Yeah, and these are all the Lord's spirits of vengeance, these fires. It says fire at French holiday home for people with disabilities leaves 3 dead, 2 missing. Interstate 70 reopens in both directions following fire near Silt. Firefighters contain 23-acre brush fire in Vero Beach, 27th Avenue. Another fire sparks near South Rim Fire, shutting down Highway 50. Deputies, fire crews in South Denver metro area quickly contained fast-moving wildfire near Sedalia. It says Signal Flat fire reaches full containment. Yeah. So just a lot of different fires, destroying, wounding, and killing. Isaiah 29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And that's what these fires are. These fires that have, these wildfires that destroy land, these house fires, these apartment fires, these car fires, these church fires. that just destroy, these buildings, and destroy people's homes. These are the flames of devouring fire. Ecclesiasticus 39:28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. And when you look up the definition of appease, it means to satisfy. So these spirits of vengeance are sent out by the Lord to satisfy his wrath by bringing forth his judgment. Verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Yeah, so all of the destruction that takes place from these fires and the deaths that occur as well. These are the Lord's spirits of vengeance, fire and death. And myself and all the other all the other sincere brothers who do lessons and speak on these things talk about how, these fires, these hailstorms, flash floods, tornadoes, all of these different events are going to get more serious, seeing as we are in the last days, and a lot more people are going to die. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal, neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And that's right. The Heavenly Father, through his spirits that are created for vengeance, wounds and kills people on a daily basis. Like it says in Psalm 7 and 11, Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. And there's a lot of wicked men, women, and children out here that the Lord is going to judge. And he's going to judge them harshly. Some may get wounded and some may get killed. First Samuel 2:6. The Lord Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. And this has to do with all the people who have died as a result of these fires. In this particular case, whether it's a car fire, a wildfire, a house fire, the men, women, and children who die, the Lord is the one who killed them. Because the Lord has the ability to save people. He has the ability to create a way for them to escape. But if he doesn't want them to escape because they're wicked, and he wants them to, be punished for their wickedness, then the Lord will make it where they can't escape. And they will either get severely injured or they will get killed. Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? And the answer is that nobody has perished being innocent. So these men, women, and children that die every day, they're not innocent in the eyes of the Lord. Especially the ones who die from events like fires, storms, tempests, earthquakes, shootings, stabbings. And people want to say like, oh, what if like there's a shooting and they say, like a stray bullet hits a child? Well, then that child wasn't innocent, because the Lord, like I said, he controls everything that happens. So if the Lord allows a bullet, a quote unquote stray bullet, to strike a child, then that bullet was meant to hit that child. And a lot of people, they're too simple-minded, they're too carnal to be able to wrap their head around that. They're too emotional and in their feelings. They're not spiritual enough to understand that the Heavenly Father is in control of everything. So nothing's going to happen unless the Heavenly Father wants it to happen. So if a child gets struck by a bullet, even though people will say that it was a stray bullet and the child wasn't the intended target, the child may not have been the intended target of the person pulling the trigger, but the child was the intended target of the Lord. That's why that bullet went where it went and did what it did. It says, or where were the righteous cut off? And the righteous have never been cut off. Those whom the Lord approves of, those who are doing righteousness in the eyes of the Lord has never cut them off. He's always kept his hedge of protection over his, his chosen people. Verse 8, even as I have seen they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And that's right. People out here just being as wild and as wicked as they can possibly be. And so the judgments of the Lord are matching that. That's why every day people get wounded and people get killed, and many great miseries get unleashed upon people because they have to reap what they've sown. Like the men of the Lord are constantly saying, you can't just run around here being wicked, being a demon, and not expect the Lord to punish you at some point. And we are in that time. We are in a time where the Lord is visiting these wicked people with heavy judgments. Psalms 9:16, the Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higgaion Selah. Yeah, so there's no getting around it. People want to say that, these fires or the storms and tempests or the earthquakes or the shootings or the stabbings are just, isolated incidents. And it's like, no, these are the judgments of the Lord. The Lord decides what judgment he wants to take place and how long it's going to take place and who's going to be affected by it and where it's going to happen. But like I said, a lot of people out here, they're not spiritual. They're wicked. They're carnal. And the Lord is not dealing with them. He has not blessed them with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures. So they don't understand that no matter what happens, it all goes back to the Heavenly Father. Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And for a lot of people, these wicked people in particular, these wicked men, women, and children, we are in a time and season where a lot of them are going to die. They're going to die in whatever way the Heavenly Father sees fit to bring forth that judgment. Proverbs 22:3, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And those of us of the hopeful elect were prudent. You look up the definition of prudent, it means wise. So through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, those of us of the hopeful elect who have been blessed with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures, we are wise. We're able to foresee the evil and hide ourselves under the hedge of protection of the Lord. But these simple people, they pass on and get punished. All these people that don't believe in the Lord, or they claim that they do, but they're like, oh yeah, no matter what happens, the Lord, he's just going to forgive me no matter what I do, or he's going to turn a blind eye to whatever I'm doing, which is not the case. The Lord sees what you're doing. And if you're being wicked, he's not just going to turn a blind eye to it. You're going to get punished. There's a lot of people that run around here talking about only God can judge them. And they say that in ignorance because they genuinely don't believe that they're going to get judged. But you look at the news every day and all you see is judgments, car crashes, and people drowning, and people getting shot, people getting stabbed, people dying in fires, all of these destructive and deadly storms and tempests and earthquakes. Like every day, people are getting judged, people are getting punished. So the fact that you still have people running around here thinking that it's not going to happen to them, that just goes to show how simple and ignorant these people are. Judgment is happening every day. And it's going to continue to happen. And it's going to escalate. Luke 21:22. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. And that's why there's so much judgment upon the earth. Because these are the days of vengeance. These are the days where the Lord is visiting these wicked people and bringing heavy judgments upon them in whatever manner he sees fit. Romans 2:11. For there is no respect of persons with Yahweh. That's right. The Heavenly Father doesn't care. You're a man, woman, child, a newborn baby, an elderly person. Lord doesn't care if they're in the military, a police officer, a firefighter, a lawyer, a doctor, a homeless person, a celebrity. The Lord doesn't care about any of that. The Lord cares about whether you're being righteous or whether you're being wicked. And depending on which one of those it is, depends on what's going to happen to you. Majority of people out here are wicked. And that's why majority of people out here are going to get punished. Sore strokes and many great miseries are going to be sent upon them. The Lord's spirits that are created for vengeance are going to be sent upon them. And in the end, these wicked people, these wicked men, these wicked women, and these wicked children are going to die. They're going to get put in the spirit world. And this is why brothers are constantly saying, those of us of the hopeful elect, we always have to keep in mind that we're not exempt from being judged by the Lord. Yeah, we are of the hopeful elect. Yeah, we're watching and we're reading and we're praying and we're fasting and we're, following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability and rehearsing the righteous acts every day. But that doesn't mean that the Lord won't still judge us. Nobody is above being judged, being punished. And there's a lot of people out here who think that if they can just, avoid the police, then they can get away with whatever wickedness they're doing. But what they don't understand is that they can't avoid the Lord. The Lord may not get them right then and there when they're doing wickedness, but he is going to get them at some point. And they never see it coming. Because they're too busy indulging in wickedness. And like a thief in the night, the judgments of the Lord creep upon them and overtake them. And next thing you know, they're in the spirit world. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop these judgments from happening. This is the will of the Lord. This is the vengeance of the Lord. All those of us of the hopeful elect can do is continue to look at all these judgments as daily reminders as to what can happen if we go astray. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, for putting his spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are still fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith, and shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratzazah. Till next time, shalom.